So for the past 2 months, I've been working on this build, and as of 3 days ago, I finally finished. So it's time I show you. So why did I start this build to begin with? Well, it all starts with Minifigure Series 26, where we got 12 space-themed minifigures with 3 standouts for me. The M-Tron Powerlifter, the Ice Planet Explorer, and the Blacktron Mutant. Now let's take a look at the M-Tron Powerlifter and the Ice Planet Explorer first. Now, as you can see, these are pretty faithful remakes to their original characters. First of all, if we take a look at the Ice Planet figure, here we can see the original character that this is based off of. It's pretty accurate, you know, it's actually upgraded, I'd say. I mean, that's the point of it. And then I actually do have the original M-Tron that we can compare this to, so I can save myself some editing. Here we go. So, you can see it's pretty faithful, right? It's basically kept the same, with obviously some minor differences. Obviously, there's no visor because this color doesn't exist anymore. Some dual modal legs with printing on the side and the front. We got this not air tank thing. And then some cool new details on the torso, such as like little armor stuff. I don't really know what that is, but on the old one, it was just the M-Tron logo and that's it. So, kept pretty faithful in my opinion, right? Now, aside from all of these figures, there was another one, like I said, the Blacktron Mutant. Now, this is what the figure looked like, and it's an okay figure, but it's supposed to be a remake of this, but mutated, which doesn't work, because a lot of people are going to want to have a Blacktron 2 remake, but they can't have it now because, well, they don't have the figure. Obviously, the torso is really good. I'm so happy they didn't add any mutations to the torso, because that would have sucked. Obviously, you can just replace this arm, because it's just fully black, and everyone has fully black arms in their collection. But the legs is where the problem is. They only gave us one of these legs, and not the other one, which this leg kind of sucks anyway, but it's not that detailed or anything. No side leg printing, nothing. But they also didn't give us a helmet. So it's just not... It's not a remake, per se. It's more of just, like, an idea. And I took this idea and made it a remake. I used the torso and the hips and some pieces from my own collection and some pieces that I bought to make a custom Blacktron 2 figure, which he's actually standing right there. And we'll take a look at him, but first, I gotta clear my desk. So here we have the Blacktron 2 remake that I made. This is custom using pieces from many different figures. So let's first remove all the accessories from this guy, which, by the way, these guns are just the guns that the Blacktron Mutant came with, but with a trans neon green stud on the end. And then I'll show you the helmet later. Anyway, here's the figure. Now, the idea behind this would be an unmutated version of this guy. And if you look at the eyebrows, those eyebrows look the same, right? You look at his eyebrows and you look at his, those look like the same eyebrows, right? If we zoom in a little bit, you can just see they look like they'd be the same person by the face. Now, the face that I used is actually Lloyd from Ninjago. It's the old one, not the new one. So, if you happen to have it, it's actually really good for this, because it just looks like him unmutated. And with that premise, I decided to use the same hairpiece, because this guy came with an extra one. Obviously, I used the torso and the legs. Not the legs, the hips. But for the arms and legs, I had to do something different, because obviously, they only gave us one leg, and I didn't like the fully black arm, so I decided to completely change that up. Now, these legs, I think, are better than what LEGO gave us. These are Clone Trooper legs, the modern Clone Trooper legs. So, if you own any LEGO Star Wars set from recent years, you probably own a Clone Trooper, so you could easily make that. And for the arms are a little more, a little harder to get nowadays. These arms are actually from the Disney minifigure series, not the 100-year anniversary, but a Disney minifigure series. Syndrome from The Incredibles. That's what these arms are from. And, I mean, it's not that rare of a figure. It's one that not many people actually own. So, that's that. You may notice that he doesn't have any neck attachments. Now, there's a couple reasons for this. The big one being that there's going to be a neck attachment soon, which I'll show you. But I figured, because modern LEGO City Space doesn't use air tanks, right? They have nothing. Why should he? He has no need to. And also, like I said, there's something else going on his neck. And now, let's take a look at his helmet, because he's not a spaceman without a helmet. For this helmet, what I did is I took the modern LEGO City Space helmet in white, obviously, and I added a black visor to it. And this is what he looks like. Now, some people may not agree with this idea, but I personally think it looks good because if you take a look at the original Blacktron figure, right? The original Blacktron 2, it's not a bad figure, right? It's just I feel like with these legs, having fully black arms and a fully black helmet just looked off. Like, I'll show a picture on screen of one of my original designs for this because this took like a week to design and figure out pieces and find pieces for this. So I'll show a bunch of pictures of the progress of me designing this figure. And you can see it doesn't look that good with the black helmet, in my opinion, right? Like, when you think about it, M-Tron and Blacktron are the exact same figures. Literally just the torsos are different. So you'd think that, like, these would be the exact same figures, just with different torsos, but we're adding more personality to these guys. So I feel it's a lot better to have it like this. And you may be wondering why I went with a black visor instead of a trans neon green. Well, first of all, they're supposed to be evil, right? And what made the Blacktron 1 figure menacing was the fact that you couldn't see the face, and it was just a black visor, and it looked really menacing. But the second you lift it up, they're all friendly. The second you lift this one up, they're friendlier, but the face really makes it seem not friendly, I guess. But, I just basically took the best part from Blacktron 1, which was the black visor, and just added it here because I thought it looked good. And if you think this looks good, let me know by leaving a like on the video, because I would actually really appreciate that, you know? I really want to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, because I do really want a silver play button. But whatever, that's not the point. Anyway, if you think this is an actually genuinely good figure, please let me know in the comments as well, because maybe I could submit this as an idea to LEGO Ideas someday. Because in my opinion, this is probably my favorite and most detailed build I've ever done, which isn't saying much because I don't build that much stuff, but whatever, I love this. Anyway, that's it for the minifigure. Moving on to the next thing, which goes with the figure. And you know what? I'm not going to do a fancy transition. I'll just show you. Now, if you're a fan of the original Blacktron 2 series, you may recognize what I was trying to recreate here, but basically there was this old jetpack piece that the original Blacktron figures used. And they did obviously have these like trans neon green studs on it, but it was all one piece other than those two. And I didn't want to just use that piece, mainly because I don't have it, but I wanted to make a custom one that is more modernized, using pieces that exist nowadays. I get this color doesn't exist, but whatever. So, how did I design this? What pieces am I using? Well, some of you guys may notice right off the bat, this is the backpack from the Spacewalking Astronaut from Minifigure Series 26. Minifigure Series 26 has been a massive W so far. It's literally just helped out so much with this. Like, I don't think this MOC would exist without it. Anyway, for the flashlights on the end, obviously this is what the original piece looked like. But I added a Technic connector with a inverted stud on it, because I think the inverted looks better. And originally it did use this piece, the cylinder piece, and it is longer, but it would fall off easier because this is a little, like, you have to use some force to get this one off. You could, like, breathe wrong and the cylinder would fall off. Anyway, for the handles, it's using the same pieces except for the joystick. It's using these bar pieces now instead of a joystick because I had to use those, like, the cheese slopes pieces for something else. And for the back, because there was a space logo, I didn't just want to use that piece. So what I did was I literally just took a 2x2 in white, 2x2 tile in white, and then a 1x2 jumper with a red trans red, like, thingy on it, on dot, I guess. But I was going to add a Blacktron logo, but I figured that'd be too much, because take a look at the back of the original jetpack. It didn't have anything on it, so thought might as well have nothing on it, except for that, because that kind of looks cool. Now, when you compare this to the original one, like, on its own, it doesn't look very similar to the actual one, but that is until we put this on the actual figure. So let's go ahead and do that. Alright, that was a pretty cool transition. If you thought it was a cool transition, you should subscribe, because I'm cool. I'm not. Anyway, as you can see, this looks pretty damn close to the original one. Now, I don't have the original one to compare it to, so I'll just put, again, another picture on screen of what it looked like on the figure. I'm honestly really impressed with this. This was the latest thing I've built for this MOC. I actually built this like 3 days ago. But, I love it. It's one of my favorite things. Anyway, that's it for everything with the minifigure. Let's move on to the actual big builds. And by big build, I mean we've got literally the smallest of the 5 builds. This is a flag. Now, some of you guys may recognize this flag from another mock video. I'll have a little like thing in the top corner that links to it. I don't recommend watching it. It's not that good of a video. But basically, I had an old Blacktron spaceship, and I decided to add extensions for it, made a completely different video. And in that video, I showed this flag off, because this flag has existed for all that time. I never took it apart, but it's pretty simple. It's literally 4 pieces. It's a 3x3 in light bluish gray, a cone, a white bar, and then a plain white flag that I printed out a piece of paper with a print on it and taped it. It's pretty simple. I actually used this in like teasing this video on a community post and on Instagram. Which, by the way, if you want to know how I took that picture, here's what the set actually looked like. I turned off my lights and used my lamp, but whatever. I just love creating those types of effects. I don't know why I love taking photos. Anyway, that's it for the flag. There's nothing much about it. Moving on to the next build. We're not even going to have a transition. Let's go. So, this is a bomb. Yeah, it's literally all it is. The reason this even exists is because about a year ago, I made this. Now, this has existed for as long as this has. I mean, a little bit after, because I made this after this, but whatever. I just never showed it in a video. I don't think I did. I may have. But, these have existed for the same amount of time. This is for Blacktron 1, and this is for Blacktron 2. The idea behind this is it'd be a missile dropped from a spaceship that would, like, explode on impact. And this has a little play feature. You see how the front isn't connected? So if I go ahead and drop it... Oh, it didn't actually... Oh, it did work. It literally explodes. Oh, it explodes. Because it's not connected. So what happens is it folds in on itself and explodes. Same with this one. Sorry. Okay, you see it worked that time. It's not a very good play feature. It wasn't even intended to begin with. But then it just kind of worked out this way. So I thought it was cool. Also, this piece usage is pretty good. But this isn't a part of the mock. This is. They're all really simple pieces. There's nothing too complex with this build. Anyway, that's it for this. Moving on to some actually good parts of this mock. Because so far, I've just shown the little stuff. And obviously, the really cool figure, in my opinion. So let's move on to some of the cooler stuff. Here we have a buggy. Now, some of you guys may notice that this buggy looks very similar to this buggy from the updated 2022 Galaxy Explorer. Now, that was obviously the main inspiration, was that because it was a nice little compact yet big buggy. I quite liked it. So, as you can see, I did change some things up a bit. I still added that because I thought it was just a nice little, like, Easter egg, right? I added an antenna to pay homage to the original space buggy. And I also added the air tanks in front, again, to pay homage to the space buggy. But what I did better was these can easily just fall off. These cannot. Now, I fixed that with this piece right here, which will... There's actually a lot of these pieces in this build in various colors. But if I add a gray one to here, the original buggy, it doesn't fall off anymore. That was the idea behind this. Anyway, moving back onto the buggy. Now, I made the antenna tilted because I thought it looked nice. The wheels are white. That's what the bottom looks like. It's a pretty simple build, right? Now, obviously, a minifigure can fit on this. I mean, it really wouldn't be an actual vehicle if a minifigure couldn't fit on this. So we can take our Blacktron figure, and he can roll away. And on to our next build, which is another buggy. So, I literally, again, built this like 3 days ago. But what this is, it's basically just a giant buggy. Now, for those who have seen some of my other mock reviews, I had one for M-Tron. Now, there was 2 buggies. One I still have, and the other is decimated. And a lot of the pieces were donated to this build. Specifically the wheels, that was it. Every other piece was just discarded. Anyway, it's supposed to be just like a nice big buggy that you can use. And then he's also got these guns up top, which I actually built before I even wanted to build. And if you take a look at the back, you can see it has the battery from Modern Lego City Space. Because I just thought, like, we're referencing Modern Lego City Space a lot in this build. And I just wanted to do that again with these extra battery pieces. Because I thought it looked cool. We got some transparent red stuff in the back, right? Obviously, we've got a seat to sit in. Here's what the underside looks like. We got some more trans neon green, right? And now we can actually take our figure again and fit him in. Now, this guy's a little harder to get in because he can only sit back this far, right? This is as far as he can sit back. And as I said earlier, he can roll away. Now it's time for the best build of this video, the spaceship. Now, I mentioned earlier that I made an original Blacktron spaceship. I'll have a link to it up here. But that's what this is. This is the original Blacktron spaceship. Just, I did so much to make this so much better. So, when I made that, the biggest flaws were it had no wings, the interior was lacking, and it was very flimsy, right? That was all the flaws with it. And I figured out how to fix all of those problems, starting off with the flimsiness. Now, I actually need to get a piece out to show an example. The front of this is what it looks like now. This is the pieces it used before. Now, you may be thinking, why did you just use a shorter stick and more pieces to accomplish the same thing? Well, that's because this would easily snap off. This is harder to snap off because, it takes the whole jumper with it instead now. But this is actually a stud with a hole in it. That's it's a more sturdier connection. So now it takes the whole nose of the ship with it instead of like just that little pin. Because that's, to be fair, the nose of the ship is harder to lose than the actual just a little antenna on the front. And I did the same thing in the back here, so now this won't fall off as easily. And then the interior was another big issue because it was just a bunch of black bricks. Now it actually has an interior, so I'm gonna actually take apart the spaceship so we can get a better look at the interior. So this is what the interior looks like. As you can see, we've got some cheese slopes on the side to be able to fit the arms of the minifigure. We've got some little panels in the back here. We've also got one of my favorite details. I'm gonna actually zoom out a bit so you can get a better look. This is one of my favorite details. On both sides, it has these like tubes with the speedometer on the top. I don't know what it's really meant. I guess it'd be like the fuel. But we have, again, another one of these batteries up front, and then an orange transparent dot, because the idea behind that is that it'd kind of be like an emergency alarm, because if it was red, there's a lot of transparent red in this build. If it was green, wouldn't make sense, and again, there's a lot of green in this build. If it was yellow, it'd go too closely with the green, and orange was just the best color, because it's also like a similar color to like the danger color. Anyway, this box has always existed in this back right here, but inside I've actually figured out what to put in here. For those complaining, oh, your Blacktron figure needs air tanks. There's air tanks in this build, okay? You can shut up now. I've made sure to put air tanks in, just in case you babies wanted it. I don't actually know if anyone cares. This little front slope with the printing on it has been in this ship for a while, but now we can actually put the figure in here so you can see how he sits. So there we go. And obviously I just broke it. Everything's going wrong. No. Anyway, this is what the figure looks like in the ship, and you may notice these studs on the end right here. You may think, oh, you could have put some detail there. Well, that's specifically to hold down the glass of the cockpit, because if those weren't there, it wouldn't be able to stay in place. And if you look at this, it's all perfectly in place. Now, I would have had a little connector up here so it can rise up, but because the nose of the ship is taller than this, it wouldn't have worked. And also, this is an old connection piece, and I don't have an extra one. I do own one, but it's in a set. I don't want to take that set apart. Now, I'm going to actually reassemble this so we can take a look at the wings. Also, real quick, I just want to point out, look how flat the top of the ship looks right now, and then I add this piece on, right? And it just looks so much not flat. It's so cool. Anyway, I need to actually raise my camera up, so give me a second. Anyway, so here's what the wings look like. Now, originally I had these facing the other way and on the other side, but then my dad pointed out it looked so much better if it was facing forward, and he was right, so there you go. We've got some angled plates right here. We've got some cheese slopes, whatnot, some transparent pieces. And then if you take a look at the bottom, this is what it's using. And now, because it's using those hinge pieces, it can do that, which is so cool. I love the angled wings because it looks so, that's not intended. Anyway, as I was saying, the angled wings look so cool, but also having it be able to be flat is such a cool detail. And you may have noticed, speaking of details on the bottom here, you see that? That's actually a 2x4 with a sticker on it. It's flipped upside down and being held in with these really cool pieces. You see those? But if you actually know what that sticker is from, can you please tell me? Because I don't know what set that's from. I don't even know if I own the set anymore. But, anyway. So, yeah. A lot has changed with this spaceship since the last time I showed it on this channel. Now, real quickly, I just want to point out, this was on the original version of this ship anyway. These little gray pieces were such a cool detail. Like, you don't understand how important these gray pieces were. Because, like, look at this. Look how bad the side of that ship looks. And then you add these gray pieces. It just looks 100 times better. Like, it adds some nice angles to it. It curves it out a little more. It's not as flat. It just looks so much better. That's a color variation as well. Now, another thing I added was these nugget pieces on the end right here. Originally, it was just showing the plain studs, but I added the ingot pieces. I'm getting confused with Minecraft. What is wrong with me? Anyway, I added these ingot pieces, because why not? And then I added some trans neon green and some red, and then some red, and then trans neon green. Now, this spaceship is obviously really cool to have in real life, and I feel like I'm not doing it justice. So if you want me to make instructions for this, because even on the original really crappy design of this ship, a lot of people were asking for instructions. And even on the video where it was a short where I was using an audio, there was like...
So apparently if you destroy your own art on here, you get a bunch of likes and views, so
like you had to destroy a piece of art for the short. I took this off my shelf and dropped it on the floor, and someone commented your own art, implying that like it's not mine and someone else made this, which is very flattering, so thank you, that person. But a lot of people were saying like, no, the Blacktron, oh no, oh, you should make instructions for this, right? So if you want instructions for this one or any of the builds, please let me know, because I'd be happy to make them. It just may take a while. Also, real quick, look how cool this guy looks next to the other two remakes. It matches so well. Anyway, that's it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Like I said earlier, if you want me to make instructions for this, because I'd be happy to, please let me know in the comments, because I really love reading comments. Even if you're not asking for instructions, comments are still my favorite thing on YouTube, because being able to see what people actually think about my content is really nice. It matters more to me than actual subscribers and likes, but if you could also subscribe and like the video. Like I said, I really want a silver play button, because those are just such a cool thing to have. Anyway, that's it for this video. If you want some more pictures of this, I'll probably post some to Instagram. There'll be a link to my Instagram in the description. I have some exclusive TikTok content, so I'll have a link to my TikTok in the description. If you want to email me, you can. I have an email in the description, or it's willynilly18films@gmail.com. But that's it for this video. Like I said, like, subscribe, comment, whatever, and I'll see you. Peace.